Alright, hi everybody, welcome back to Makeup Basics. Today I'm going to be showing you how I utilize and get a near flawless place with all of my favorite brushes. The first brush that I'm going to be using is a dual-ended angled eyeliner brush and spoolie brush, but I use this for my eyebrows. And I essentially just go in with like angled in strokes to make them look big and fluffy and kind of like runway brows. But yeah, that's what I utilize this brush for. You can also use it for eyeliner. It works really well with powder, liquid, but I'm not so sure about gel eyeliners. And this one I believe is the BH Cosmetics dual-ended angled eyeliner and spoolie brush. The next brush that is like in my holy grail is this e.l.f. Flawless. e.l.f. Flawless concealer brush. It's like a medium-sized fluffy brush that I like to use to just tap into my skin with whenever I put concealer on, whether it's like a cream or a liquid. I find that like it works really well, and that it makes the like base look nearly flawless because it makes the skin look like skin. And then I also go over it with my fingers because the warmth of your fingers helps blend the product a little bit better. But I love this brush, and that's what I use this one for. The next brush that I love to use is this big old angled fluffy brush. I know some brands call it a angled blush brush because I know that's what e.l.f. has it as, but it's just a big angled fluffy brush, and I like to use it to just set powder all over my face. I like to lightly tap into the powder and then press it into the skin and then do it in big old swirly motions. I also have a small tapered fluffy brush that I like to use that goes like perfect underneath your eye socket, and then also to set my eyelids and then to set the middle of my forehead. And I like to just gently press it in because it's so fluffy that you don't really need a lot of product, and you don't really need to like work it into the skin necessarily, so it works nice to just set it and forget it. And then what I also like to use my angled fluffy brush for is to disperse my highlighter, because I find that whenever I use it with my hands, or like I dip it into the fingers, as you can see there's a little indentation there, that it doesn't really look as nice that I would like it to. So I literally just but I take the sides, the fluffy sides, I coat it with like the powder or the highlighter or whatever it is, whether it be the ColourPop Super Shock or Wet n Wild Mega Glow. I like to just run it across the sides and then put it on the highest points of my cheekbones, because I find that it makes the product a lot more dispersed. It makes it look nice and glowy. You can't really see it on camera, but in person when I like look at my makeup in a mirror, it actually looks really nice. I also go over it on my nose as well. Alright, now we're getting into eyeshadows. The first brush that I want to show you is this flat packing brush. I know e.l.f. calls it a C packing brush. This is just a flat eyeshadow brush that I like to use. Oh my god, how many am I gonna say like this? But essentially, I just basically pack on as much eyeshadow as I can. Like I just rub it in the pan and then I throw it on my eyelid. I find that it works really well if you need a lot of color somewhere. I don't really have any like cutting or precise brushes necessarily, because I'm not really cutting any creases. That's just not the style of makeup that I typically do. But this is nice if you want like a soft, smoky grunge look. I find that this gets where you need to be. The next brush is called a e.l.f. crease brush. You can use this. It's basically a small, dense, fluffy brush that literally fits perfectly in your crease. If you're for someone who has a little bit bigger eyelids. If you have smaller eyelids, I would recommend going above your natural crease. But yeah, this one just fits perfectly and it blends out the eyeshadow that you need it to. You can also use it to blend eyeshadow brush, but mine is always covered in eyeshadow, so I don't use it to blend very often. But yes, it fits perfectly there. The next brush that I will be using is a small angled fluffy brush that I like to get right on that outer V of your eyelid. That basically it's like where your lash line meets the outer crease of your eye, basically like that outer space right there. Like you can see, like it literally fits perfectly in that small space of eyelid, and it gets your eyeshadow kind of looking in like a wide cat eye, I would say, because it's not like a perfect precise cat eye. It's more just like you want your eyeshadow big, blown out, and smoky. This brush works really well for your crease as well, and you can also use it to blend out. I recommend everybody have this one. It's a small blending fluffy brush. I know that they have blending brushes that are called that, but this one is like nice and big kind of. I'd basically just use it to blend out my eyeshadow. It's clean, I swear, even though it looks stained. I like to just make everything blended as I can to look nice and smooth. And again, it's going for that like smoked out grunge look. The second to last brush that I'll be using / demoing, oh my god, I cannot speak to save my life, basically is a small flat liner brush, or in some cases it'll be called a small square liner brush. I love to use this one to get right underneath my lash line. I find that it gives you that precision that you need, and it also blends in perfectly with your big old cat eyeshadow brush. Cat eyeshadow, if you're someone who likes to do this look as much as I do. I also go in again with that big fluffy packing brush, because it also disperses product pretty well if you're someone who doesn't want a precision, because I know a lot of us just like to do our makeup and get out of the house, because sometimes, you know, you can be doing your makeup for hours. But I really, really love this look, and I also love all these brushes. I'll also leave like links, recommendations and stuff below. The last brush that I'm going to use, and I believe this is like all the brushes that I own besides the small liner brush that I use and a spoolie brush, is this. I believe it's essentially a small flat tapered brush. It doesn't really have like a name for it, but it's the number 10 BH Cosmetics that comes with this set. That's what I would call it. I know it has other names, but I basically just use it to highlight the inner corners of my eyes. I find that it fits perfectly to brighten up your entire eyes, especially if you're the one who has brown eyes. Definitely do this trick. It makes your eyes look big and beautiful. And then the last thing that I use whenever I put mascara on, although I'm not going to put on mascara for this look, is a basic spoolie brush. Elf sells them for $1. You can also use disposable ones from CVS that you can wash. But yeah, I basically use it for brows and lashes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.